A mortician and his wife are killed by an unknown assailant. The evidence leaves the case ambiguous to whether or not it's a human or animal attack.
Scully and Doggett pursue a case that ends up having ties to another case from over 40 years ago.
This is not happening.
Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, Andrew. It's Doggett's first official case.
You know how official it is?
How official is it?
It's so official, they've kicked David Duchovny's name off the credits.
They have.
It's a big
He
deal.
is not a part of this episode.
And forever.
At all.
He's gone. He's gone back to his home planet, as is canon.
Yes. Yes. He's gone to Duchovnyak.
Duchovnyak. Yeah, it's a nice place. You know, a lot of sex.
A lot of sex. Oh, boy. Poor David. He can't escape it.
So there was an argument raised in our last recording. Somebody in the chat who suggested that they should have just skipped the season opener, Within and Without, and gone straight to Patience. Didn't love those season openers. And we in the past have said that sometimes the season opener is not great, and the first kick of the can back after is actually better. What do you think? Is Patience... You know, I know we're kind of diving into kind of final thought territory, but...
No, we're good. I mean, spoiler for listeners, I guess. I like this episode. Do I think Within and Without are bad enough to skip? No. They're important, if only to introduce us to Doggett.
Yeah.
And kind of highlights how the show is going to proceed now. You know, we did have to get that springboard from season 7. We have to establish how we're going to search for Mulder.
Yeah.
Who this new person is, how he's going to relate to Scully. And it's not like Sixth Extinction, right? You can lift those out of the show and be just fine.
Yeah.
At least I could be. I don't know. I understand people have a very intense hatred for the mythology after a certain point.
Mm.
And I can agree with that on some level, but I don't think it's...
think they're just angry that they are putting a dent in the ship, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, and a lot of people are angry at David for leaving.
Mm.
Personally, I don't put that much stock into this kind of thing. Like, I enjoy the show. I love it. I hate to see him go, but I can't speak for someone who's been doing this for 7 years and wants to do something different. I can't hate him for that. So as far as the show goes, as a fan, I'm intrigued to where they're going to take it at this point. Can they do the show without David Duchovny? And the answer to me is yes.
Oh, absolutely. And this is, as I intimated in the season opener, basically, this is the writer's challenge of how do we reinvent the show? Because they've had this challenge in the past. You know, how do you give it some new oomph and steam to propel the season before you? And the search for Mulder is one thing. That is the sort of very subtle story arc. But the real juice is the new character, the new dynamic, because that is what really propelled season 1 was the getting to know you between Scully and Mulder. Now we're going to have a getting to know you between Scully and Doggett. And it is not going to resolve, you know, just all in one episode. It's going to take a couple episodes before they get into a groove.
And that's one thing I think this season does very well. You feel a level of not necessarily distrust, but unsureness on Scully's end. They're unsure how to respond to each other.
Yeah.
And they draw attention to it. The writing does, even if it's not a mythology episode. Pump the brakes. I acted in a weird way in this case because I wasn't sure. Are you my friend? Are you not? Did I really want to bother you? Speaking of next episode, Roadrunners, did she not include Doggett because she really didn't want to bother him, or she's just not comfortable with him yet? And you can draw parallels and ask these questions, and you can feel it for about half the season that there's tension. And I think it's pretty good.
It's because Doggett's an older man and she's attracted to him, of course.
She's afraid of it.
Yeah.
And she knows her track record.
Don't want to go down that road again.
No. Especially when her current love is missing.
Are they in love? I mean, we never really see them together.
Well, you haven't seen Scully cry about it. So buckle up.
Not for a couple episodes. It's true. But we of course are going to get into Patience, which
Yes.
eventually it's going to happen. But written and directed by Chris Carter. And I thought that was interesting given he's been very busy steering the season opener.
Yeah, and I appreciate that he did this because I think this is one of those times where something big is happening on his show. So he wants to make sure it gets off right.
Yeah.
And as much crap as I give him for some mythology choices, this is good. I enjoy the back to basics of this episode.
Yeah, so I think they figured that out with the season finale of season 7. That an episode that's going to work is one that goes back to its roots. So I think he's maybe driving the same bus here going, it's going to work if we just take this back to brass tacks, get on solid monster of the week footing. What monster haven't we dealt with for a while? We haven't dealt with, a human bat combo. So why don't we open up that book and see what happens?
Absolutely. Well, this is touching on final thoughts territory, but
well, shut up already and get into the episode, and we can save it
into the episode. All right, let's get in the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Please excuse our fun little banter there about the X-Files and the state of the show.
You didn't really want to listen to the X-Files, you wanted to listen to the X-Files.
Yeah. Get to the story, Mike. Turn the page and weave your little web of beautiful, beautiful tales.
So, what do you say,
all
Mike?
Right.
We get impatient with it.
Let's.
No. What do you say we advance rapidly?
Are you calmly waiting for this episode to start?
I am taking my time.
All right.
I've been walking the streets tonight, wondering what's going to be right.
Thank you. Thank you for that. It's nighttime. The camera pans across the roof of a house. A gargoyle weather vane with red eyes sits atop. A thunderstorm calmly rolls in as an old Cadillac rolls up. Headlights cutting through the darkness. A long driveway to a lonely house. An elderly man gets out and walks to his door. As he enters, it's dark, lit only by the occasional flickers of lightning outside. Upstairs in bed lie his wife, who sits up in shock until she realizes her husband is getting home from work. She calls to him and chastises him for waking her. He smells awful. That embalming fluid could wake the dead, she says, and dismisses him to go change outside. As he heads to the porch, he begins undressing. As he unbuttons his shirt, he lifts his head and catches a glimpse of something hanging above him, some sort of pale creature. As he gets a better look at it, it is man-sized, black eyes. It begins to shriek loudly in the thunder and descends upon him. He screams. Upstairs, his wife once again stirs. This time she gets out of bed and calls for her husband. When she descends the stairs and gets to the foyer, she sees her husband lying still as a monstrous creature feasts on his flesh. She screams in horror, catching the attention of the creature. It then lunges at her, knocking her to the ground. We cut back to the gargoyle weather vane, gently moving in the wind, her screams drowned out by thunder. Credits. Oh, boy.
So that was a good open. And one of the reasons I really like it is it's a huge bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sets itself up to be a haunted house story with the black Cadillac, old black Cadillac pulling up to an old haunted house, thunder and lightning blasting, figure creeping into the house. She bolts, upright in bed. What's that? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, husband, what are you doing? It turns it on its head, but could have done with a little less compressed exposition where she's like 39 years of embalming fluid. It's like, okay, funeral director, dude. Okay.
Funeral director. This is your job.
Yeah.
It's been 40 years just about.
Yeah. You're an old married couple. Got you. Thank you for, compressing all of that information into one line, which wasn't also really necessary.
It's also compressing that she's kind of a jerk.
So she deserves what happens to her, basically.
She deserves what happens to her. She's not out till all hours of the morning.
Doing her job.
Helping people. She's laying in bed. God.
She's been asleep all day on a bender. This is the character story.
That's why she's so upset. She's not happy to see her husband. She's upset.
Did you bring my 40-ouncer home with you? You didn't, did you? Gotta go get it myself, you lazy good for nothing.
I'm going.
Well, there we go. So it's a monster story. I'm in with that. That's all right.
Yeah.
Ready to rumble, as they say.
We come back in Mulder's office. Scully stands, staring at his nameplate on his desk. She picks it up to examine it and begins hearing a group of fellow agents outside the office coming closer. One of them mentions if he'd have to work down here, he'd come up with crazy ideas as well, and a bunch of laughter. Doggett leads a couple agents to the door, only to find Scully has beaten him there and dismisses his colleagues. Before she says anything, he says they're just curious. But she's not here to be a curiosity. She's here to work. He is too. He was here over the weekend and went over every file in the cabinet, just getting some coffee. When he asks where his area will be, she reiterates that this is Mulder's office. They're just borrowing it, and clicks his nameplate back onto the desk, back in place. She begins with some slides. 2 homicides in Idaho. Undertaker killed on his front porch about 10 feet from his wife. She clicks the slide so Doggett can see. A gruesome photo of the man's head and shoulders appears, bloodied, bruised. Cause of death, blood loss from bites. He examines it closer and clarifies. Bites? Some fingers were eaten off. The bites on his wife appear to be human. This is extreme, he says, baffled by what he's seeing. He asks if there's an appearance of motive, and she says no ritual. He's at a loss. And with that, Scully agrees. That's a good place to start.
Nice. Classic X-Files setup.
Yeah, and we do feel, coming off those 2 opener episodes, that she's still putting up with him, kind of. She's not impressed with the way the morning started with his friends making fun of Mulder.
I really like that moment. It's so simply done to just have that stupid white guy banter outside the door where, clearly they are having fun at her expense, or the expense of the office. And that's sort of really casting the fact he is on the outside. He is not part of the team yet. He is like trying to bridge both worlds. Like, oh, look at this dumb assignment I got. It's sweet. It's well done.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Well, at the crime scene, the agents arrive to meet the local PD, and Detective Yale Abbott introduces himself. He's appreciative of their help as far as it goes, but he would like to think they can handle it themselves. Immediately, he favors Doggett over Scully, seemingly boxing her out of the conversation despite her experience. Doggett admits he's baffled, which doesn't impress Abbott. But from behind him, Scully clarifies that Doggett's new to the unit. There's nothing baffling about human bite wounds on a corpse. But Yale corrects. They're not so sure it's human. He leads them over to some prints on the porch. We see a chalky footprint with 4 toes. When Scully educates him that it's not unheard of, he again looks to Doggett for manly clarification.
What did she just say?
It could be human.
She means it could be human.
Scully is immediately at odds with Yale and gently explains that he's trying to force an explanation because he found a weird print. This print can help explain the bite marks.
How?
Although she admits she doesn't have all the answers, that's all Abbott needs to hear to rule her theories out for the rest of the episode. Doggett mentions predation should be a big factor here, and Scully agrees, but there's only one print. If an animal or animals were drawn here, there would be prints everywhere, from here to the yard. And as she points, the detective's men, all standing in the yard, have a moment of feeling embarrassed, obviously not doing a great job securing the scene. When Doggett heads inside, Abbott lays into Scully.
I got 2 old folks in the morgue, mauled beyond recognition. I have no motive to go on, no intent. There's not one shred of evidence that cries out for a human explanation. Yet you stand there telling me flat out that what we're looking for is a man. Thanks for everything, Agent Scully. We'll take it from here.
I'm sure your explanation will mollify all those hotshots down at the county seat, Detective, and relieve any general anxiety about what this thing might be. But only until it strikes again. And one more thing. I never said that what you're looking for is a man.
Burn, Andrew. Burn. She's taken the power away from the men in this episode. Because that's all this guy's caring about, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's a nice setup. You know, we haven't seen overt chauvinism for a while. So thank you, Chris Carter, for taking us to Idaho where it can run free.
Yes.
And I like it's a nuanced anti-FBI reaction. I half expected Yale Abbott to walk over there and say, you know, I don't recall inviting the
invite
FBI.
you here, yeah.
But in fact, they did invite him there, so that's fine.
It sounds like it was over his head. So
yeah,
he would not have invited them for sure.
Yeah. Except the thing that bothers me a little bit here, and this speaks to the role reversal they're trying to do with Scully Doggett vis-a-vis Scully Mulder. Scully's the one who usually mollifies Mulder's lack of social skills. So
right
now, I get that Scully's being wound up here because, you know, douchebag
he's
guy
being
is
sexist
douchebag
as
guy.
well.
Yeah.
So it's not just hatred to the FBI or the case and how they're handling it. It's the fact she's a woman.
Yeah.
So that's piling on.
It's not as bad as we've seen Mulder be in the past. Like, this is still nuanced, you know, highbrow. You know, you think you know everything, but trust me, this thing is gonna surprise you. And there's some good stuff here. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's cemented as an asshole immediately, so we know how his story is about to end. So.
It's a tale as old as time. I don't think we've ever seen this kind of character survive an episode of The X-Files.
No, not really. It is tough going. Well, Doggett calls her into the house. He thinks he's found another print by the steps. It's possible, but she's unsure. He ponders if the reason there are no prints in the yard is because it came through the house, whatever it was. Leading up the stairs, though. The two agents check the bedroom upstairs. He spots another. He puts forth a theory. He Occam's razors this bitch, Andrew.
Ooh.
Maybe they're thinking too abstractly about the prints. It might just be a killer with a deformed foot.
The most likely explanation, I suppose.
Editorial here.
Oh, go.
Michael doesn't like this. And it's not that it's bad. It's Scully rattles off a supposed quote by Mulder, and he calls it Occam's razor, or Occam's principle of limited imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like something Mulder would say.
Never said it.
It's played for laughs, but we've been with him for 7 years, and we've never heard that come out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's not that it's bad. I just don't like being told what Mulder said after spending so much time with him. I just don't feel it.
So
show me, don't tell me, because I feel like I know this character well enough. It sounds like something he could say, but they have had a lot of cases together, and I think this would have come up.
So listen, it's Chris Carter that wrote this episode.
I know. And like I said, I'm just being territorial, and I don't get it.
I understand your feelings, however wrong they may be. I can't believe I'm being the apologist here, but ultimately, okay, I would. There is a hill I'll die on. Is that we don't see every waking moment of these characters' lives. We get snapshots of their lives as they handle various exciting cases. We are often not shown the good times for Scully when she's having lovely family meals and easy vacations where nothing weird happens. So there must have been a moment where Mulder said that. Would this episode have been better for you if we had a flashback?
Just flashes to him saying it? No.
Mulder,
would be
have
awkward.
you ever heard of Occam's razor? Whoa, 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 whoa.
And it's a scene we've never seen. It's never been in any episode.
He's eating sunflower seeds while he throws pencils into the ceiling. And you mean Occam's theory of limited imagination? She rolls her eyes.
See, he said it.
Audience
He
laughs.
said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make that
And like
scene
I
so
said,
bad.
I'm prefacing it with I'm probably just being picky. It just strikes me the wrong way. Like,
Mike, being picky has no place in this show. I have been told
Oh, hold on.
I should never.
Let's not lump me in with your bullshit. I don't know, man.
I think that this is a great episode with no flaws, and I love it to death. I don't listen.
All right. Like I said, I'm probably just being weird about it, and that's fine. It doesn't make the episode bad. I've completely cognizant of the fact that it might just be in my head. So anyway,
right along.
She does bring up a good point. How does a killer with a deformed foot leave a print every 25 feet? Scully keys in on a closet that has an access point to the attic. It's open. Curious. She crawls up. Dust, webs, darkness. Usual attic fare. She lifts the shade on the attic window. Doggett arrives and utilizes a flashlight. He spots something on some books a little ways away. V for victory, he says. It's 2 of the eaten-off fingers. They appear to be regurgitated. She looks up. On the rafter, there are what appear to be claw marks. 3 of them on one side of the plank, as if it was being gripped. Doggett looks at the marks and tries to formulate a thought. It looks like it was... He trails off, half piecing it together, half refusing to say it. She fills in.
Hang in there.
We cut to another home. An elderly woman, Mrs. McKesson, is in her own attic. She opens the window and brushes off a dusty photo album as she sits down. Tearfully, she looks at the photos. Nearby, a pale, crusty creature comes into focus. Again, its black voids for eyes stare at its prey. It makes a sound. The woman looks up, and with another shriek, it lunges at her. Well, so that scene seemingly came out of nowhere. But
yeah, it's a bit of a non sequitur in terms of the plot, but really, I think all it's telling us is that attics are fucking dangerous to your health.
Yeah, don't go in the attic.
Just stay out. Just live in the sunlight.
And if you've watched Christmas Vacation, don't watch projection on the door.
You totally bowl past one of the nicer gags in this episode where Donna pulls out the flashlight and says, "Do you ever carry one of those?" She's like, "Oh, never.
Never use the flashlight.
Why would I carry one of those? Jeez. All the men carry them."
We go now to the county morgue. Doggett comes in as Scully finishes her autopsy. She's found nothing significant, although what she has found leans more towards it being an animal. Bites have fang-like tears. The bites she thought were human are now inconclusive because they have enzymes in them. Anticoagulants, found solely in the saliva of bats. As she resigns herself to owing the detective an apology, Doggett stops her with an article. 1956, with the same information she just laid out for him. The headline reads, "Hunters kill human bat. Creature taken to coroner, neither man nor animal, and 2 days later the coroner was disemboweled by something with sharp teeth and 4-toed claws. It ate several body parts and regurgitated them elsewhere. 5 men died or disappeared during the incident. Then they just stop. 44 years later, it appears it's back." So this is an interesting scene, Andrew.
Yes, it is, and I'm glad we're about to talk about it.
Yes. It's a lead we probably would not have suspected would come from Agent Doggett, given what we know of him so far. But part of what we do know is that he does go by facts, and I do believe that if he did come across something like this on this case, despite how insane it sounds, I think he would be intrigued. So this does fit with him. You know, he's bringing this forward because while he may not believe in Batman, everything about this case kind of leans towards a similar article. So I think the fact that he found this was kind of cool. Do you have a problem or anything with him bringing this forward?
Absolutely not, actually. I quite like it. I feel like it's a bit convenient. If I have a problem with anything, it's the script deciding to bring it forward this way. It gives us everything we need to know. Now, how do I want to put this? Normally it's Mulder who is sort of furrowing his brow and thinking, what if, and then he spouts exactly what the plot device is.
He spouts exactly if.
Yeah. This is that, only given a form that's more appropriate for Doggett. He went to the public library in Burley, Idaho, And he went to the cute librarian and said, "Yeah, I wonder if you can help me out. I'm looking for is anything about bats here in Burley?"
The only thing...
And my eventual
sorry.
problem with it is going to be that he tries to show the article to Yale
Abbott.
and the script cuts him off. It never happens. But
Right.
I guess if anything, my issue would be the death of the hunters kill this man-bat creature, right? Because they're able to very accurately identify all the stuff about it. So is our antagonist man-bat?
It's like a family
son?
family member, yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't go into that. I don't know that they necessarily need to,
No,
but it
they
is
don't
kind
need
of ambiguous. Like, okay, so if they killed it, who is this thing? But
Yeah.
it's obviously some sort of family member or lover. I don't know. The only complaint I think I would have if I had to.
Who are you even? Oh my God.
I know,
This is
right?
2 in a row. You hate
2 in
this
a row.
episode?
No, I'm just bringing this up for discussion. The only thing that I think is a little lacking is it like you described, where he goes to the library and asks for weird articles?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he just happen across this article somewhere in the pile of articles, a la Scully in The Field Where I Died with the photo? Or did someone point him to this article?
Well, I don't think it's that last one.
I don't either.
It would have been a better
mean,
episode if it was. But
I just don't know where this came from. Like,
no, it's...
yes, I believe he investigates. Yes, I believe he may have gone to the library for something. But I don't know that anything about the case yet would lead him to the library. Does that make sense?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm going to say I would totally believe a scene where he goes to the library and finds the microfiche file, which does, I mean, it's a lot to compress into however long Scully has done her autopsy, because that's where he's gone while she's doing that thing.
Right.
But I would have liked it better if it was a drop-in. Like he's in his hotel room and something gets slipped under his door and it's the article and it's like, oh shit, okay. But
it's just Chris Carter. It's not Mr. X. It's not anyone important.
It's just Chris Carter
because the script needs to move on. So this is the next scene. This is what's happening.
This is exactly why this has happened. So he can move the script on because it's exactly all the things fit. And then it can be like, oh shit, we're after a human man bat. All right. It totally checks out. And it's the X-Files after all. So we're in the right place.
And again, I'm not complaining. It's just a matter of if I could tweak it, I think there would be useful scenes that we have not seen. But
I agree that is one. And it would solidify a little bit more of John Doggett's character as a machine of an investigator. He goes for the facts, and there's no internet, right? No, there is an internet.
There is.
It's they could have gone there. He could have fired up the old laptop and done his search in exactly.
Get on.
And we could have had that, but we didn't. So
yeah,
I'm all right with him going to the library and figuring that's where he got it. He's sweet, talk to librarian who knows everything about everything. And she's like, oh, did you ever hear about the thing in 1956 in Montana? Okay, I'm a little bit out of it now because if it was an Idaho thing, I would have been a bit more in. Burley, it was just over there in the field where it happened. I remember. No, it was not nearby. Okay. Leaning a bit more to a scene where he surfs the internet and finds it. But.
Yes. All right. Well, we go to the McKesson residence, which is now a crime scene. Doggett looks at claw marks on the windowsill and on the rafter. More of the same. Abbott picks up right where he left off. Those are claw marks. Whatever did this is not human.
Well, if I may speak for Agent Scully, I think we're both prepared to concede that point, Detective.
Then you know what this thing is?
Got a newspaper article I want to show you.
Agent Doggett?
A rather strange account from 1956.
I found something. A photo album. I think it's our first break on this case.
What is it?
The victim's daughter, Ariel. Her dead body was pulled from the river here last week.
I got that call. I had to come tell Mrs. McKesson the bad news. You're trying to say there's some kind of connection?
Well, you not only told her mother that her 62-year-old daughter was dead, but that her body had been horribly and inexplicably burned. A daughter who, by the way, she hadn't even seen in over 40 years. Since 1956, to be exact, which is the date your article says those first killings started.
Do you see the connection?
I'm not sure where you're going with this, Agent Scully.
The daughter is the connection.
How is that?
I don't know exactly, but these killings only started up since her burned body has been found.
Honest to God. You just jump at whatever explanation is the wildest and most far-fetched, don't you?
Well, I suggest that you jump at it too. Because her body may have been burned for a reason, and you're going to want to exhume it in order to find out why.
You want me to dig up a dead body when I have real people out there whose lives are in real danger?
Doggett pulls Abbott aside, and they have a brief, unheard conversation while Scully stands there looking foolish. When it ends, Abbott leaves quietly, but not without shooting her a look. Scully presses Doggett for what he said.
What did you say to him?
Well, I told him to dig up the body. Isn't that what you wanted?
What else did you say to him?
She's a paranormal expert. Who are they to argue with her? She doesn't like that answer and corrects him. She's not an expert. She's a scientist who happens to have seen a lot. She's just making a leap. They get into a small argument when she feels like her partner doesn't even believe what she's saying. But then Doggett levels with her. She's taking a leap, and maybe he's an old-fashioned cop, but in his experience, leaps just get people killed. That may be so, but she thinks Doggett is taking a pretty big leap believing in an article about a human bat. The scene ends as he walks away without a word. Good scene. Good scene. I do like the tension between the two agents.
Yeah.
What's nice about it is that it feels different than Mulder and Scully.
Yes.
They obviously had differing opinions throughout the show, but it never got to antagonism or contentious behavior, at least not early on. With Doggett and Scully, she finds herself kind of at odds with not only another agent, someone who she can see herself also as being at the start of her career. She can see herself being where Doggett is. So she's doing the best she can while trying to keep science involved. But we can see kind of the burden of her new role as believer getting to her. I think this is done well.
I like the place that Doggett finds himself in between Scully and Abbott. Like, I think he recognizes that the way he's going to get the cooperation from Abbott is by chumming up to him as a guy.
Right.
You know, we're both guys in this world where this uppity woman is trying to tell us what's what.
We're just trying to make it in this she world.
Yeah. You know, we know how it really is, you know, but she's not going to let him do that. You know, she is really not going to just stand by or take it back and let him take and run the show. She has opinions and she has very valid points, and she's going to make them, which puts him in a very uncomfortable position when he has to say, you know, he kind of has to choose where he wants to be. And the sort of emotional core of the scene is he makes the wrong choice. You know, he turns to her and says, "I'm not sure where you're going with this Agent Scully," which is, No. This is your partner.
Yeah.
You shut up and support your partner.
Right. And I really like Doggett here because you can feel he's in between two strong personalities here. It's not that he's not a strong character. He just has to choose how do I navigate this the best way without being a shitty partner and without offending the guy whose territory we're in. Yeah. So I don't believe Doggett's trying to be rude when he pulls him aside.
But what do you think he says? What do you think he says in that moment?
I do think he levels with him as a dude. I don't think he's necessarily believing that, but he's trying to get to Abbott's,
just do this.
Call it testosterone, and just look, you and me, between you and me, this needs to be done. She's
not going to let this go. So
an expert in this, so just do it, man to man. Let's just do this, and we can move forward.
Yeah,
that's probably what was said. I don't think he was throwing her under the bus per se. I just think he was. This is the only way he thought he could get to Abbott, which is probably true.
He just wants wants the scene to keep moving. He needs the script to keep going, and that's what he does. I think that ultimately he does. There's that micro pause when Scully says, "What did you say to him?" And he says, "No, I just told him you were an authority and he should listen to you." It's like, no, that's not what he said.
that's not all you said, sir.
You said something else.
And she calls him on it. She says, "And what else did you say?" But I've determined that the reason Doggett gets interrupted showing Abbott the article is because Chris Carter wanted to make sure that the guy didn't become a believer and therefore could make it out of the episode alive. He wanted to make sure this guy died.
So obvious and terrible. When she comes up with a photo album, I got the clue which is going to blow this case wide open. It's a photo album. It's like, no, the article. It's truly the article.
The article is more of a bombshell.
Yale Abbott's going to be like, Stefaniak, I know that guy. He turned in the body.
He's a kook.
Yeah, but he's the one that his brother went hunting and then the body, they are linked together. Wow, there really must be something here. I'm sorry I came off such a hard ass. Let's go do that thing you wanted.
It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/Magus Media, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. Well, we cut now to a dark shed. Bats squeaking and squealing. A man with a fedora and a handkerchief over his face comes in. He grabs the bats gently and puts a couple into a wire cage and exits. He walks around his log cabin of a house and heads inside. When he closes the door, we see a taxidermy bat tacked to it.
There are some script pages missing for this whole bit of business.
Yeah. A little bit of a weird scene, because from there we go to the cemetery.
Well, but it doesn't matter, though. Like, we're never going to come back to his bat research. I mean, that's clearly what's happening here, right? As he's become a bat expert.
I guess.
Where's the bat?
They sure do not come back to this.
I want him to be making a serum which gives him bat powers or anti-bat.
Here is where I was afraid it was going to go as a first-time viewer. This guy's created the Batman, right? He's got a lab under his fucking log cabin, and his experiment went wrong.
The man bat is his brother, and he's developing a cure.
He's trying to cure him,
save him, and we're gonna have a tender moment at the end where he's like, "I just want to have my brother back." And the bat reaches out, but he can't. He grabs him by the throat. He chops his throat out because you can't stop the man bat. That's what happens.
Oh my God. It just gets better and better as we talk about it.
Isn't that always the case, though?
Yes.
All right. Nighttime at the cemetery.
Nighttime at the cemetery. Detective Abbott shows up to the graveyard to meet the exhumation team, shocked at their speediness as the box is already being raised out of the grave. Well, it's easy to do your job when someone does most of the work. Abbott's confused. Well, when they got here, the box was all but lifted out, the dirt dug up and piled. Whoever did it did a piss-poor job because they scratched the shit out of the lid. Abbott looks, and after a moment, begins to feel uneasiness set in.
Let's get this down to the morgue. I think the sooner the better.
A screech in the distance echoes. The two men load the box into their pickup and drive off. Meanwhile, Abbott looks around and keys in on a tree stump, rotted, cut off about 6 feet high. There's a large knothole. He thinks he sees something and closes in on it. A fleshy membrane covers the hole from the inside with a crack in the middle. As he peers at it closely, a black bowling ball of an eye opens. He's terrified and immediately begins running back to his vehicle. As he runs towards the camera, the bat creature rises from behind, launched into the air, and descends upon him, knocking him to the ground. It claws and bites at him, but he manages to knock it away. He staggers to his feet and continues to flee to the car. Not to be outdone, the bat soars at him once more, hitting him squarely in the back, again knocking him down. He screams as he's clawed at. The bat screeches wildly as it mauls the man. Yikes, Andrew. Yikes.
Kind of wish they defied expectations and allowed Yale Abbott to get away.
Yeah.
And like have him draw like a giant ass revolver because that's the kind of gun Yale Abbott carries. Like
it would have been more fitting.
him running away as opposed to just opening up on this thing. I mean, I guess this is the thing. That's the double
He's just
sin.
playing him
which
as a
gets
coward.
Yeah, that's the reason he gets killed is because A, he's a douchebag, and B, he's a coward. But it's so simple. I feel like they could have nuanced it a bit with a different ending. Like, show us how invulnerable this thing is by shooting the shit out of it and it doesn't die. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. It would be a little bit more of an impactful scene if we saw a bullet go into him and he doesn't get phased at all or something.
Yeah.
That would be something intense. Okay, so a gunshot is not going to do it.
Exactly.
Maybe we need a tank.
Yeah. Up the stakes, guns can't kill us. But yeah, everything about this scene is a little bit weird. Like, why is the man-bat digging up the grave?
Because of the smell.
But it stops.
It all leads to the smell, right? So it's going to attack anything that has the scent of the person on it.
Oh, no, sir. And it is smarter than that. It is 100% a hunter. I think it knows that the thing in the box in there is dead. Why do I need... I could accept that it's doing this to lure prey to it, like open up the box and see what comes and then kill the thing that came for it. But that would imply way more intelligence because it would think, okay, now Yale Abbott's coming,
Yeah. I'm going to have to stick with my original answer, Alex. I think it's just smell. I'm not saying it necessarily works completely, but I do think that it's the creature responding and attacking anything that has the smell of Ernie Stefaniak on it.
Okay. I'm not in love with that explanation.
That's just where I took it. I could be very wrong.
No, I think that's
where I took it.
The worst part is I think you're right. I just don't like it. I think it's way too simple and complicated at the same time. It's like, if you're going to dig up the box, why did you stop and then hide in a tree? Did you show up when the guys came to dig it up?
Maybe they scared it away. I don't know.
This is not a creature you scare away. This is a creature that kicks the shit out of you. So I don't buy that either.
Oh no, someone's here.
I better hide until somebody finds me.
I better hide in this conveniently located tree stump.
The last point I'll make here is the gravedigger with lines is Brent Sexton. Yes. One of his very early roles. You've seen this character actor all over the place. In Deadwood, you've seen him a lot. He's also had a role in Justified. Fun actor, good stuff. Nice to see him early on in his career.
Well, we go now to the morgue, Andrew. Scully
Autopsy
waits and scrubs for the arrival of Abbott's body. As he's wheeled in, it's a grisly sight. Blood everywhere, mauled beyond recognition. Doggett arrives. He's a bit bothered, and then is immediately pulled aside by one of the officers. He's greeted by no less than 6 department officers in the hall just outside the autopsy bay. Scully has no choice but to listen in as she's excluded from the conversation. The officer in front dresses Doggett down. We listen to you. The detective listened to you. We could have been hunting this thing down. Doggett questions why they aren't right now. But now's too late for the detective, isn't it? The officer snaps. They don't want the FBI telling them what to do, especially not Scully. She's the one responsible for this, but Doggett defends her. The only thing responsible is what did it. They end with refusing to let her autopsy the body. They don't want her and her far-out theories, and she's not welcome here. Doggett heads back inside to meet Scully, standing over the body.
Hear all that?
I heard enough.
Things have taken a little turn.
I don't think so, Agent Doggett.
Well, you can think what you want, but I think this looks bad for the FBI.
It was unavoidable.
How do you figure that?
This is the body pulled from the river. She died of natural causes, congestive heart failure, but her body was only burned afterwards.
By who and why burn it?
Well, obviously to cover something up.
Yeah, but what?
That's what I still don't know.
Look, we know what we're looking for. We should be out there looking for it. We're never going to catch it standing here speculating.
Look, it kills like an animal, but with purpose. It stalked the detective for the same reason that it stalked the old woman and the undertaker.
Each of those victims had had contact with this burnt body. The undertaker prepared it, her mother ID'd it, and the detective got the call when she was found.
Well, who else would have had contact with it?
The man who found her in the river. A Myron Stefaniak.
Stefaniak?
Yeah.
One of the hunters in the photo in 1956 was Ernie Stefaniak.
They head off to the address on file. An older man gets off a boat at the river's edge just as the agents roll up. It's Myron Stefaniak. Scully's relieved. They couldn't find him at his home up the road and were fearful he was attacked. They inform him of the murders and that he may be in danger. They're not certain he has anything to do with it, but he has a connection to the case. But all he did was fish the body out of the river. The man dismisses their presence and demands they leave him alone. As he walks away, Doggett says, "Ernie Stefaniak." This stops Myron in his tracks. The agent continues. "He lived in Montana in 1956. He was my brother. He was one of 3 men who killed a half-man, half-animal. Myron claims the man died, and that the thing killed him. But Doggett clarifies. The article says he disappeared. Myron begs him to leave it alone, and Myron alone. It's been 40 years. Later on, Myron goes about his daily routine and brings a gas can to his tractor to siphon some gas. The agents look on from their sedan. It's been 9 hours and nothing. Scully begins to doubt herself. She was so sure of the facts that she had deduced them, but now, well, maybe she's trying too hard to force everything into place to manufacture a theory. Doggett asks about taking a leap, but she thinks she's trying too hard. He puts it together. To be Mulder? Attempting to build his partner's confidence, he tells her he doesn't know much about the paranormal, but he doesn't think she's wrong. He connects a few dots that makes him think she's onto something. He can tell when a man's hiding something. Myron fishes a body out of the water, missing for 40 years, a brother he hasn't seen in 40 years, a brother who happens to have hunted a creature 40 years ago, but what does he have to hide? She peers at Myron one more time through her binoculars. The old man heads to his large garage and puts the now filled gas can in his pickup truck. The camera ascends above him to the rafters. As Myron opens the large wooden gates and gets into his truck, the creature is revealed hanging upside down above him. Down by the river, Myron takes the gas cans and places them on a raft. He begins pulling a large rope and the raft starts to float out to the water. Crossfade to night, the raft has arrived across the river. A man begins heading toward it, but the agents call to him from a boat. They shine a light.
Stop right there!
Not the best approach, Andrew, considering they need to now chase him and have not gotten ashore yet.
But they are super fast rowers, so they get there.
They get there.
They get there.
He runs off immediately. They beach their boat in pursuit. Scully somehow catches up to him and holds him at gunpoint.
Because of her high heels, she's a fast runner.
Yep. The man wears a fedora and has a handkerchief over his face. Doggett asks if he's Ernie, and after a moment, the man says yes. Doggett removes his bandana to reveal a pale old man with a beard. In his hideout, they converse.
How's a man supposed to live? When his fear becomes obsession. You do the same thing. Who wouldn't who wanted to live?
You never left the island?
44 years I wouldn't dare, knowing it was out there. That it could come back for me.
You know something about it? About what this thing is?
I know on the evolutionary ladder, bats are real close by the apes. And just as we came from the apes, so might a man sprung from a bat to live and hunt like a bat, but with the cold-blooded vengeance of a man.
Even if that were true, sir, how could it possibly find you out here, on an island?
I needed to cut off all contact. Communication could be only one way. My brother helped me. And then there was my wife.
It was her body your brother pulled in.
She gave up everything to be with me. I forbid her to tell her mother. 44 years of 6 acres of island, she made only one demand. To be buried in consecrated earth. She was a Catholic girl.
Mr. Stefaniak, it's killed 4 people, all of whom would have had traces of your scent through various degrees of contact with your wife's body.
My brother?
Your brother's okay, honey.
But he had contact with Ariel's body. It'll come after him, too.
He's all right. We spoke with him earlier today.
Today? Today he might have been fine, but this thing hunts like a bat. It only attacks at night.
The agents exchange a look of realization. How could they be so stupid? Doggett leaves immediately and tells Scully to watch Ernie. He runs to the boat and begins pushing it out. As he goes to get in, the creature attacks him from behind, plunging him into the water. He's able to roll onto his back and grab an oar to block the next attack. As the creature makes its next move, Doggett fights furiously to stay above water, but the battle seems lost as he's knocked back even deeper into the water. His body sinks under the surface and the creature flies off, screaming into the night.
That's it for Agent Doggett. We only had 3 episodes.
He's over 3 episodes.
Yeah, sad.
Oh, boy. At Ernie's compound, he tries to understand how they found him. Who figured it out? She was sure that they were looking for something other than a man, but the detective didn't believe that, and now he's dead. Did she just lie, Andrew?
Yeah, she totally did.
I think that's backwards, because that is not what happened.
What I like in that moment is the script through Ernie Stefaniak going to great lengths to praise her, because he narrows down all the people who we know didn't solve it, and it's like, well, actually, my partner did. Oh, well, then it was you. You know, it's like, okay, we get it. She's a smarty pants.
We got it.
Yeah,
good old Chris Carter beating you over the head. Well. She made the connections, but Doggett got them out here, she says. The elderly man scoffs. You ought to be wishing he hadn't. You're marked now. You know that, the moment you stepped here. She offers her protection, but he laughs. In a page right out from Andrew's complaint book, you thought of everything except what you're going to do when you find this thing. She rationalizes this is still a creature. It can be killed, and she does have a gun. But the man dismisses this. What is he going to do? Walk through the door? It's waited 44 years. It'll wait as long as it takes. How long can you wait? Secluded, sacrificing everything until you can't stand it anymore? He's describing himself and his wife. He spent his life terrorized by this monster.
But he's really describing Scully too, because he throws in that little goof of not having children, huh? Yeah. You're gonna put your life on hold?
I mean, I'll do what I can, but I don't know if it works anymore.
She's already pregnant. We don't need to care about that.
All right. Well, he doesn't know that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just then, a red light begins flashing and a beeping alarm goes off. He rushes to his computer setup. He's got radar and perimeter protections. The sensors are set 10 feet high.
This is where I officially rolled my eyes.
Because he's got like a compound.
Because he's got radar. And more to the point, he's got power. He lives on an island. How does he have power to power the radar?
Well, I'll give him that or I'll give the episode that. His brother was sending him gas cans, which maybe he's got a generator. He has a stockpile of a generator.
He's running a Jenny out back.
Maybe a huge one at all times. I don't know.
The radar thing. No. All I wanted was a laser fence. That would be even better.
I can't argue with your complaint because I was watching this again and obviously for notes. And I was like, man, this guy was hunting this thing when he was in 1956. And he is like a computer wizard right now. What is going on?
He's
Can't
learned a
teach
lot.
an old dog new tricks. Is
In
my
44
ass.
years, he's learned a lot on his 6-acre island, completely separated from the world, including building a radar or, pre-Amazon, getting all the parts. I mean,
Maybe he didn't build it. Maybe he has something that Myron could use to detect and he sent it to him. I'm sure Myron has something to do with it.
Myron just ships him radar. What are all these fancy
We don't know how
wizards?
big it is. We don't know how big it is.
It
It's not
must
like
be-
fucking SETI.
It's a giant array that covers the island because it trips the sensor.
It's not Puerto Rico.
I really wish they had found another way. Give me
Just
give me tripwires.
no. The alarm goes off. And it just cuts to that scene from GoldenEye with the satellite coming out of the water. Just
The save for this
Oh, man.
is just they hear something on the roof. That's all we need is in a moment where they're reflecting and there's just a pit on the
okay.
roof.
I will grant you it is over the top.
Yeah.
But I will also push back against you and say if this guy is truly this afraid for this long, he would have something in place. Maybe not a radar,
Maybe not radar.
but he would have something in place to make sure he's safe because he knows what this creature is capable of and blah, blah, blah. I'll give him that. I can't fault the episode too much.
I know you're in love with it. I know. And I liked it a lot too.
Hey,
right
I've
up
been
until this point.
poking. I've been poking.
It's
holes.
true. You have.
We don't see the radar. We have no idea exactly what he's talking about. So I have to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's just some handy dandy system that you can buy or that Myron stole off an Amazon truck. Even though Amazon was very, very small at this point.
Going to Amazon right now. And I'm gonna
Okay, well, you do that.
radar. I got radar detectors.
So I'm going to reset the
Books
scene. The sensors are
about
set
radar.
to read 10 feet high. Anything big enough to set it off is coming in through the trees. And with those words comes a loud, deep thudding on the roof of the cabin, the wood creaking under the weight.
A radar speed gun here. It's
A whoosh and another thud on the other side of the roof. Scully prepares herself, aiming her gun. She fires 9 shots to where she tracked the creaking wood. Another whoosh and a thud. She tracks and fires again. Another 5 shots. It's gone quiet. She reloads. Perhaps she killed it. She opens the front door, ready for action. Nothing. She steps outside and tells Ernie to get a gun if he has one. She closes the door behind her and proceeds into the quiet darkness. Fog settles in around the cabin. She peers on the roof but can't see anything. Inside, Ernie loads a shotgun. A charred piece of wood rolls out from his now unlit fireplace. He goes to pick it up, smoke rising from it gently. When he turns around, he comes face to face with it. The creature stands as tall as a man. Outside, Scully sees a hole blow open the roof and hears Ernie's screams for help. She bursts into the house to see the creature looming over him, a bloody mouth. Its dark eyes turn towards her. Without hesitation, she pumps 4 shots into it, and it flies off above her and out the door. Just then, Doggett appears behind her. The creature shows itself one more time and knocks Doggett to the ground. But this time, he's armed with his gun. He fires shots at it, and it flies off once more. He fires into the night as it escapes. The agents get up, and she checks on him. He's bloody and loses his balance. Scully lowers him to the ground to tend to him. In the distance, they hear the creature screech and scream into the night.
Do we think that Ernie's dead?
You know, I always believed no, he wasn't, but I think he is.
I think he is too. And like, not a lot of time has passed here. I mean, I feel like, listen, I'm glad that you're looking out for Doggett. I'm pleased with that. But I bet you Ernie's bleeding out right then.
Yeah. She just needs to make sure he's okay, and they pick up and leave. He's like, as they close the door to his cabin and leave.
Maybe if Ernie's dead, this thing won't chase after anybody. And frankly, nobody knows he's here anyway.
What happens to this thing once all the people who've ever touched or been around Ernie go belly up? Like, does this guy just die?
That's final thoughts material. So why don't we get through our epilogue and then we can explore that point, because it's worth exploring.
Well, we crossfade back to Mulder's office 2 weeks later. She picks the nameplate up once more. Doggett comes in, recovered from his injuries. He received a fax from Myron. He's alive. They don't know where he is, but he's gone into hiding. After a moment of contemplation, she asks him, "Do you believe it? That one day this thing is going to come after us?" Doggett's pretty sure they both hit. He redirects. The guys upstairs are making noise about the field report and what it entails. "You get used to it," she whispers. Again, she picks up Mulder's nameplate and walks around the desk. She never had a place in here, but she will make sure Doggett gets one. She stumbles over the words, but she does thank him for watching her back. He assures her he never saw it as an option, and he's sure she doesn't either. And with that, Scully places Mulder's nameplate into the desk drawer. Credits.
He's out. He's done. He's not coming back to the show at all, ever. Okay, might be coming back. All right. I think it's worth talking about Chris Carter's motivation in having the open-ended exit for this episode. I don't think he wrote it in a way that he ever thought he would come back to this, as they have in.
No.
Like I think it is
it's just
novice,
a fun thing.
Is a novice writer's mistake to love your villains so much you want to give them that little denouement, which leaves the door open for them to return. And this is that. But I don't think there's enough juice in there that they ever really thought they were going to come back to it. At least I hope not.
No. I don't think he ever intended that. What I do like about it, and I understand what you're saying, I think this is much better than the situation you described. Only because they don't cut over to the creature in the forest licking his wounds and
yes, that would totally
up
be
to the
scene.
sky.
Yeah.
I think it's something we would all in this situation have to think at least for a moment. Given what you know about the case, say you just worked on it.
Yeah.
You're not sure if this thing is dead, but you had interaction with the one thing it hates. Will this thing come out there? Will it show up sometime in our lives and ruin our lives? Kill us. I think it's something everyone would ponder.
Yeah. It's a neat
I really
end.
think that's
It's
all
different.
that was.
Yeah.
And I want to say at this point, I really think this is a missed opportunity to have this thing show up in random episodes throughout the rest of the season. At the weirdest moments, just here, it just tackles someone out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
I would love. And I think we need to clip that sound and just include it in future episodes randomly where we think it would be funny. So,
Mike, did you hear that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I'm sorry. Go ahead with your final thoughts, sir.
Well, Mike, this is a classic return to form. A moody monster of the week with some nice character notes. Nice work on Carter's part, also considering he's busy with the season opener to also run this one. The man's got his hands full in 2000. Only a few questions for this one. Didn't love the ground radar. That came in a little late and poorly. That's a letdown. And perhaps some obvious horror story tropes, some basic rules the characters have to disregard in order to keep the story scary, as in splitting up, going outside to confront the monster. Maybe I killed it. It's like, no, you didn't. And you didn't, right? So it could have nuanced it to be something more interesting. There was an opportunity for that, but I feel like that is a demonstration that the poor guy had a lot in his hands and he just needed to get to the end, right? Didn't need to make it more complicated. All that said, it does work. And there's some redeeming stuff at the end to wrap it all up nicely and make you feel like you didn't just waste your time for 42 minutes. It gets the season off to a great start.
Absolutely. I mean, I hit on it a little bit earlier, or like when we started, but I think the episode's great. I like the human tension, the agent tension. Abbott pisses me off like a good asshole should. Feels like a genuine back to the basics X-Files, and it's written as such. The back and forth between the agents and Scully's inner turmoil really makes this a fun watch. Also, you can't help but make ties to Squeeze with the longevity of the case. Maybe it's just me, but
No. Every 44 years, he comes out to kill 5 people, and he goes away. I mean, I'm glad it didn't lend itself to that, but you could easily drag that in.
But yeah, I mean, just a small little nod to that. I think by the end of the episode, we have a little bit more of an understanding between the agents. Not perfect. Not everything's not roses from here on out, but Scully realizes that she needs to start treating Doggett as a partner.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really cool ending for the episode. She puts Mulder's nameplate away. It's symbolic from Chris Carter saying he's out of the show, pretty much, but it's more so the way I look at it is she can't have this reminder. She has to treat Doggett as a fucking person and allow him into the unit to pursue the cases as they need to. So
I think it would have been great if she took his nameplate and like put it into the shredder. And like it goes, and then she has to shove it and it gets stuck and she like pushes the shredder under the desk.
Yes.
That would have been very funny. But this is not the kind of show to do that.
No. Well, good stuff, man.
That's it.
Well, if you have anything else you would like to say to the good listeners, please do so.
All I would like to say is just a little public service announcement. I don't know where y'all live, but if you have an attic, as I do, just make sure that before you go into your attic, you make sure to toss a fragmentation grenade up there first, just in case. Because as this episode demonstrates, you can't be too careful. No. So make sure you, you got 2 choices, really. The first is invest in ground radar, because anybody can get it, really. The other is a good source of fragmentation grenades. Here, Amazon has them for cheap.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilespod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.